Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Have a specific skill you're trying to learn? Skillshare is a perfect place to start. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for anyone who loves learning. Invest in yourself and your personal growth. So the sponsorship from Skillshare couldn't have come at a better time because I've needed to brush up on my Adobe Illustrator skills to get my wallpaper in the bathroom done. So you guys have seen me work on that and tinker with that, and a lot of that's because of some of the courses I took on Skillshare. So on working with the wallpaper in the powder room, I took Introduction to Designing Repeat Patterns in Illustrator by Elizabeth Olwin. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Skillshare can help you make 2022 a year of new learning, growth, and connection through creativity. So thank you to Elizabeth and thank you to Skillshare. Now back to the show. How's it going, everybody? Caleb here. Sorry for this being a day late. I'm sure you guys will all be okay. So actually, let's get into the reason why it's a day late. So it's been a bit of a tradition for me to build my sister Valentine's Day boxes. So I built her this box. Here's a little time lapse of us doing it, and then I'll show you the finished product, and we'll get back to it. So for the eagle-eyed among you, you might have noticed that the house that I built in that is the Lizzie Borden house. For some reason, she's 9 by the way, she has a fascination with Lizzie Borden and everything that happened around that. I'm sure some of you guys know about that crime case. So that's what she wanted for her Valentine's Day box this year. Maybe it's a bit more appropriate for Halloween, but I still thought it was cool. So, and of course it's an old house, I think it was built in like the 1850s. So it's pretty cool to make a model of it. One day, maybe even next year, I'll convince her to do my house because I think that would be really rad. But it was a lot of fun, and I can't not do it, guys. You know, sister comes first sort of thing. So apologize for the delay, but we had a lot of fun with it. She really, really enjoyed it. And actually, after Valentine's Day over, which happens to be today, you guys will get this tomorrow, so the day after Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. I'm going to take it back and cut out the windows, actually build little windows for it, and make it into a night lamp for her. That way she can turn it on, put a switch in there, you know, wire it, all that fun stuff. Of course, that won't be taking away from anything in the house. That'll be what I do at night as I'm winding down for the night, is just tinker with that for a few hours every night. And after about a month or so, I'll have it done for her. So yeah, it was a fun little project. And I figured I would share it with you guys as well. At least as a good excuse for you guys why I'm a little day late. So before we head to the bathroom, I did want to share with you guys some things that have, well, been acquired, let's say, this week. My father went to an estate sale and found 2 really cool items. One that answers some questions for you guys, and another one that helps me stay up here a bit longer, let's say. So first things first, I wanted to show you guys the hall tree that we have here in the entryway. So front doors here. I know a lot of you guys always consistently ask about this arch. Is it a doorway? Was it ever a doorway? Why'd you close in that doorway? It was never a doorway. In fact, I've actually been in a few other houses that are very similar to mine here in the city, including one in my neighborhood that have this archway. It was always a decorative feature. It usually would have had a really large pier mirror right here. Currently, we have a hall tree sitting here because, well, we do. I mean, it's a really cool piece. It has these really cool encaustic tiles. You can see they're like of like the Three Musketeers or something, although there are only technically 2 of them. The other one's upstairs is hanging out. It's slightly different than the one I just showed you, but similar as well. I don't think it's necessarily the correct style for the house. I definitely wouldn't call this anything Eastlake, and it is missing a drawer, as you can see there. But it's got a nice marble top, good stone marble top there. You know, and it has a place on the side here for your canes or your umbrellas. It has these little trays here at the bottom that will catch the water from a wet umbrella, or, you know, basically allows you to ding them up a bit more than the wood with like a cane or something. And they have these little tabs here that you can pull them up and empty them out. So I think it's pretty nifty. I think he gave like $100 for it, which I think is a really good deal for something like this, which, you know, can't go wrong there. And it fits the space okay. If anything, it's a nice placeholder for the time being. So yeah, for the time being, it will stay right there. Now for the second item, I know a few of you guys watched me stay my first night here and discovered really quickly that the fainting couch was fairly uncomfortable. It was okay with the padding I put on and everything, and a lot of you guys told me to go buy a blow-up mattress. Well, I've done you one better. We just happened to find this here bed with a free mattress included. So yeah, a nice aesthetic movement, Eastlake-y style bed. The details on it are absolutely gorgeous. It's a stunning bed. Of course, it is a bit smaller than a bed you would have today. This is a full-size mattress on this bed. But that's just kind of how it goes. Back in the day, like in this house, there are 2 master bedrooms, one for Mr. Brown and one for Mrs. Brown. It was a very common practice back in the day. You know, you got better sleep when you slept alone, I suppose, and so they didn't really need the double bed, or much bigger than this. A lot of times when you find these frames, they will be in odd sizes. So they'll be somewhere between a queen and a full, or somewhere between a king and a queen. Actually, if you find anything queen size or above, you're really lucky because they're really rare. These full-size ones, or between a queen and a full, is really common. You'll see them a lot of the times. People will modify them and add an extra board here, an extra board to the other side, and then run them back. So you'll get these weird little wing things on the side of them and like an extra board down here. And that's typically how people will widen these to accept modern dimensions for mattresses. Either way, this one's pretty cool. I mean, it's better than pretty cool. It's absolutely stunning. And it's in really good shape. I think the only place I even see like the veneer pulling is right here. And if that's the worst of it, I can fix that. That's not too hard. I do have to figure out what kind of wood this is. If I had to take a guess, I would say it's burled walnut, but I do not know. But like I said, you can't go wrong. It's absolutely stunning. And this will give me a nice place to sleep when I come and spend the night up here, which will be more often now because as things progress, as the bathroom comes online, I can use this place and have a decent little place to sleep. I've already halfway took a nap waiting for my father earlier, so yeah, it works. It's rather beautiful. And if you can believe it, the whole bed frame, mattress and everything, $150. I mean, basically if you went and grabbed like a halfway decent air mattress, basically it's the cost of 2 air mattresses, and it's a real mattress and it's much more comfortable and it won't pop because I have a, you know, loose screw or something. So definitely the way to go. And I'll definitely use in the house. And maybe when you guys come and stay, this could be your bed frame that you could be staying on. At that point, we might have replaced the mattress, but you know, we'll see. Now let's get into the bathroom, show you some of the positives and some of the negatives that happened this week. Bunch of stuff happened in there, so let's get at it. So coming on into the bathroom, you can see right away there are 2 holes here. These will be for the 2 sconces, and the medicine cabinet will be right between these lines here. As you can see, so the sconces fit kind of snugly right here. I have this set back up here, this cap piece. Basically, it's just a spacer right now. And I have a sconce in my hand, and this will actually be one of the sconces, so you guys can kind of get an idea what that'll look like. Don't necessarily mind the glass. I don't think this will be the glass actually was on here. It was just, you know, 4-inch fitter for the gas fixture. You can also see they got these little hangy bits here. I mean, I don't know if that's the right way to describe them, but essentially what you would do here, these little loops, you would put crystal on them, just kind of like you would on the chandelier or the electric gas chandelier I have for the front area. You would hang crystal from these. So I need to get some crystal. That being said, also with these things, I do not think they are actually authentic to the Victorian era, as in saying I don't think they're actual gas fixtures, because there is no key, so a little twisty bit here on the bottom that would turn it on and off. Basically, it's a valve. There's no valve on these, so I imagine these probably actually aren't original. However, they work quite nicely in here, and they go with the aesthetic of the room, so I'm going to use them. Again, if you don't know everything about gas or electric anyways, you wouldn't really know. But these will be the only 2 lights for the room, and they'll be right there. Obviously, you do see that this box is a little different than the other. This one you can kind of see through the wall as well. I accidentally ended up hitting a stud right here, so I had to use a shallow box. Looked up code that is perfectly legal here in Missouri. So essentially when I wire it up, we'll have to go from this one directly with the power to this one, not the other way around. Now on the opposite wall here is my switch. So it's put in there, it's tacked in, it's ready to go. It's held nice and strong. So yeah, now I can put the veneer coat on and these walls will be basically ready to go. I especially have to do the veneer coat over top of this blue box here because the way it sits, there's actually a little bit of blue that sticks out. So around this ring here, the lip, I'm gonna go ahead and cover that. Of course, I'll use some glue so the plaster will stick to it, shouldn't be a problem. And this one actually, I don't have a problem. It actually covers that entire hole. So we'll be good there. And I think that looks pretty nice. Next thing that I got done this week is these windows. As you can, if you remember from before, last week and the weeks before, these were all painted blue. This is just blue tape, by the way. I've got them covered because I've been doing plaster in here. And I don't want to get plaster on the freshly cleaned up woodwork. So this window was done. And if you remember on the other side, sorry for blinding you guys, this is where my light sits most of the time. But you can see this other frame here that has the 2 windows in it. That one has a single one. And I've got some wood filler on this one as well. But I've got these completely stripped and ready to go. Some blue tape around them. This one I haven't plastic off because that's where my light sits. And yeah, basically ready to go. Got all this glued up here, and the veneer coat is all ready to go. And also had to clean out this side of that window, so work light, as you can see, pointing into the bathroom. This area had to be completely stripped as well because when I finish these windows, I want them to be 100% done. That way I can just go ahead and put them back in, and I don't have to risk getting stripper on those while I'm trying to fix the rest of this around here. So I went ahead and stripped everything away from that window. So it's 100% ready to go. And looking quite beautiful, if I say so myself. Now you might be asking why I didn't shoot, or why you didn't see any time lapses of me doing anything with these windows. Whatever paint was on those was tough stuff. I found out really quickly that these were actually faux grained to look like oak at some point. Potentially these were part of the cabinetry of the butler's pantry, which I find interesting. And of course you might say, well, Caleb, why didn't you just stop when you hit the faux graining? Because, I mean, the stripper eats it anyways. It was already gone. It was under like 3 layers of paint. Yeah, at least 3, then the faux graining. But whatever paint they use in that faux graining process, I'm assuming it's a linseed oil paint. Because it's certainly not lead. I've run into lots of lead here. Lead's a pain, but lead is not nearly as tough as whatever was on that. So each of these windows, if you can believe it, took a day. Now I can strip a door if it has just, you know, normal acrylic regular house paint from today. I can do an entire door in a day, no problem with the Coopers. If it has lead, I can do an entire side of a door in a day with Coopers. If it had this stuff on it, it would take a week. This stuff is rough. It's the first time I've encountered paint that really tested the capability of my stripper. So yeah, I started trying to film it and I'm like, it'll be a 30-minute time lapse per window in time lapse. So it just didn't make any sense. So I abandoned that idea, but I figured I would show them to you anyways. That was the biggest pain of this week and something that was unexpected. I did not expect them to take as long as they did. So it is what it is. So on to the veneer coat though, right above this window and on this wall, inside wall here, you can see some lovely, lovely veneer lime plaster, which came out quite well here anyways. This is where, of course, I started at this little pocket here and did this part here. Of course, places that aren't terribly visible, and then worked my way onto this. Problem here, and you might see it there, and there, and there. By the time I got to this part, my plaster was already kicking. And I had already got some on this section here, which was a real problem. By kicking, I mean it's drying. And this lime veneer, it actually dries by sucking in carbon dioxide. That's why this lime stuff is actually quite green. It's quite a green material. And it's actually very healthy. It cleans the air. However, it was not very nice to me other than the fact that it was cleaning the air. And so this part is going to have to be done again, unfortunately. But I did have success over there, so I haven't done this for probably 6 or so months, and I'm just not used to it again. The Structolite, this stuff, this other plaster is really easy stuff. This stuff is finicky. It's very, very finicky. And it's just, temperature, time, all that stuff. And I did it by myself, and I probably need a second person here just to help me scoop things, because you lose time getting down from a ladder, adding water, spraying, all that stuff. And so if I had a second pair of hands here, it just would make it easier. Unfortunately, Kim wasn't quite available this week. And that just is what it is. So again, with everything, this house is a learning process. It takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes doing it over and over again and getting these repetitive motions in and figuring these things out. It took these craftsmen a long time as apprentices and everything else to figure out how to do all these things. And I don't have that luxury. I won't even say luxury. That ability doesn't really exist anymore. There's very few people who do these things, and even fewer of them are willing to teach, especially not for somebody who's doing it themselves, because in their mind it's taking money out of their pocket or something. I don't know. So it's a live and learn situation. So some good with the plaster, some bad with the plaster. But that's kind of the way it's been going with the plaster anyways. But now I know. Go fast, finesse, 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 and once something starts to harden up, mix a new batch, throw that one away, be done with it. Because, more water. These walls have to be sopping wet, because a lot of that cracking is caused by the plaster sucking, the other plaster, the layer underneath it, sucking the moisture out of the top layer. And then it cracks like that. Which means anything that's popping off has to be taken down. And anything that isn't popping, I'm just going to have to coat back over it again. Which is okay. It can be done. So yeah, that's my plaster, my plaster tale for this week. All right, guys, so that's the end of the episode. Special quick shout out to Rick on Brambles Way. Your son-in-law wanted me to say hello. So I hope you guys are both having a great day. And let that be a lesson to anybody. I do actually read my comments. Or at least most of them I try. You guys send a lot of them. I definitely didn't read every A or B for the last one, because it's just overwhelming with comments. But I do appreciate you guys sharing your opinions on that. That was great. Thank you guys so much. So as always, thank you guys so very much for everything. You guys are wonderful. Yeah, I'm just more and more stoked on this project every day. and I'm glad so many of you guys are here enjoying this with me. It's definitely a lot more fun, I think, when more people are involved, and just, I don't know, you guys have taught me so much, and yeah, you guys are awesome, as usual. So thank you guys. We'll see you guys again next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Goodbye.